Hey guys, Joe here, and here we are to talk about Little Mac. Now just to note, these are opinions of mine and opinions of others that have made written guides. Sorry if I give you any false information, and if I do happen to do any false information or wording, tell me in the comment section below. Little Mac is a 17-year-old, 5'7" guy who came from the Bronx, New York. As time went by, he decided that he wanted to join the World Video Boxing Association, which allowed amateurs like him to get a spot in the spotlight. Later, he traveled around and found Doc Lewis and learned how to box. Little Mac has been a champion in many of his games and even beat the great Mike Tyson. Little Mac is a deceptively defensive character, even though you would say that he's offensive at first glance. That will need to stay in the middle of the field, walking most of the time. You really don't run too much as Little Mac. If you get hit away from the middle of the stage, then you will need to try to make your way back to the middle. He's very good in the middle of the stage, of course. He's good on the stages that allow him recovery also, because it lets his bad recovery be abused a little bit less, and lets him stay alive for quite a bit longer. That being said, if you play Little Mac, you must get used to not running in and killing yourselves near the side of the stages, because that will happen a lot if you do try to run in. But playing slow, calm, and calculated will help you counter the opponent and let you counter the opponent move, do a lot of damage, while not killing yourself and not allowing the opponent to get you. Little Mac is one of the better dash attacks in the game, which you will be seeing a lot if you play on for glory, but one thing that you should remember about dash attack is that you should not really spam dash attack. Now with dash attack you can use it out of shield, you can run up and dash attack, or you can use a defensive dash attack by running away and then running back towards them and dash attacking. So overall it's a decent one, it does a lot of damage, it has pretty high knockback, it is not a kill move, and it doesn't really combo anything, and a lot of the time your side B will just be a little bit better, but dash attack just have a tiny bit less ending lag than your side B, so it is a little give and trade. Overall, you have one of the better dash attacks in the game, and it just has really good frame data. Little Mac's jab is pretty dang good now. It did used to be better, but in the state that it is right now, it is still definitely usable. Comes out very fast, it combos into itself just by the multi-hit, and it does actually have a pretty strong finisher, which can kill the opponent at pretty high stages. One nice thing about it also is that it comes out extremely fast. You can just hold the A button similar to Zero Suit Samus, and it'll just keep hitting when the opponent runs into it. It'll finally hit them up, and you can jab out of shield. He has one of the best jab attacks in the entire game, which, of course, Little Mac has some of the best ground game in the entire game, so you should probably try to abuse his ground game, and especially his jab. The forward tilt is a kill move. It's a very fast damaging move. You can use it to counter people and punish them with it, and you can use forward tilt just out of your shield and just get a nice 1-2 punch. Overall, your forward tilt should be one of your most used moves. It's similar to your forward smash, but it comes out a lot faster, and of course it does have those 2 hits. It won't do quite as much damage, and it won't give you all that super armor, but you can pivot forward tilt, and it'll just give you a lot of high damage. Now, of course, it does not combo anything, but a lot of Little Mac's moves don't actually combo. You'll just be going for 1-2 punches, running away, going for the punches again. He's very defensive, though, so you must remember that, or else you won't be doing very well with Little Mac, or with his forward tilt in particular. He has an up tilt that actually lets you up tilt into up tilt into up tilt, like a lot of the other characters in the game. Now you should probably do this, and then after you get 1 or 2 up tilts, you can go for an up smash, which they can actually dodge, but a lot of the time people won't because they won't be expecting it. Or if you do that a lot, you can go for an up B, or if the opponent can again dodge, but a lot of times they won't. Or you can go for a neutral A, and then try to jump off their head, go for another neutral A. So there are actually quite a bit of things you can do, but overall you can at least just go up tilt into up tilt, giving you a lot of high damage, and just being one of your little combo moves. Even though you don't have way too much combo moves, this is one of your smaller ones that does allow quite a bit of damage. Down tilt is probably Little Mac's strongest move, even though itself it looks pretty stupid, but when you combo it with any other move, which Little Mac can pretty much combo it with anything, it becomes very strong. What you can actually do is go down tilt into forward smash, down tilt into up smash, go some down tilt into down smash, you can go down tilt into forward tilt, you can down tilt into pretty much anything. Down tilt is your best move. Overall, it's just a very strong move. You can pivot and then go for a down tilt. It comes out extremely fast, has some of the fastest frame data in the game, once again, which Little Mac just does have a ton of. But if you are looking for a combo move, do this. Also, one nice thing to say about it is that it does actually lead into the KO punch, which is just really, really cool. His side smash is really actually that good, and the reason why it is good is because it comes out very fast, has a lot of damage, gives you super armor, and what that means is that the opponent could not hit you out of this. Even if they do hit you, it'll still hit them, doing that high percent, and overall, it's just one of the best killing moves in the game. It gives you that super armor. It's kind of like a mini DK punch, so you can kind of think of it like that. It's a very, very strong move. and should be abused quite a bit. This is one of your strongest moves in the game other than your forward tilt. So if you are a Little Mac main, you should use this. Now do not spam this quite as much as you want to though, because a lot of people just keep using this, and some characters can just duck underneath it, and some other characters you can just run away and then grab Little Mac. So don't spam it. Don't spam any of his moves, of course, but it is a very strong move. His down smash is very good for covering rolls, of course. This is like most down smashes, but the best part about it, personally, is that you can use it to hit people that are actually trying to recover off the side of the stage. So it kind of makes Little Mac good versus gimping other Little Macs, which is something that you really wouldn't see every single day. So what you have to do is run up, get right next to the edge of the stage, and then just start spamming that down smash, or maybe you could time it depending on what you like to do. But if the opponent does not instantly grab onto the ledge, they will actually get hit pretty far away. They'll actually take a lot of damage, and they'll be hit horizontally, so if they are somebody like Mario, they'll take a lot of that damage, and they'll probably be gimped. So this is a really nice gimping maneuver. This is pretty much your only gimping because your aerials really all do kind of suck. But if you do get used to this move, if you get used to running next to the edge and going for the down smash, you'll get a lot of early gimps, which is something that you really wouldn't see way too often otherwise. His up smash is similar to Yoshi's, but it also gives you that super armor, which is really nice, and it has a little sweet spot right in front of Little Mac, just like right in front of him, which will make them actually start on fire, and it will shoot them way up into the air, killing extremely early. This is one of your best smashes in the entire game, other than your forward smash. You cannot pivot this, but you can just run around and then go for some up smashes. So it's kind of similar to Yoshi, kind of similar to Luigi and the Mario Squad. So you should be using this quite a bit. This is probably your best kill move other than your KO punch and side smash. And a lot of the times the opponent won't be able to see it. It comes out close to frame 1 and doesn't have way too much end lag, so you can kind of spaz it out, which is very strong. Okay, so this is the second video where I actually had to do this, and what I'm doing is getting rid of a lot of his throws, because really Little Mac's throws really aren't that good. The only one that's actually kind of viable is his down throw, which you can sometimes combo into some aerials, but you really can't do way too much with his throws. Sometimes you can combo into up smash. Now Little Mac does actually have a very good pummel, which is something that you should be doing quite a bit. Most of the time I'll just pummel and then maybe go for a throw just for a little bit of extra damage. He does have a very good pivot grab range. It's probably one of the best in the game, which is really too bad that he doesn't have great throws. His back throw doesn't really kill throw, his up throw doesn't really do way too much, and his forward throw doesn't do way too much either. Now they are all usable, that's definitely true. But if you are looking for a guy with a very good throw, I'd look for somebody like Luigi instead of Little Mac, because he just doesn't have the combos after his throw. Little Mac's Nair is a very bad Nair, probably one of the worst in the game, which I'll be saying about all of his aerials, but this one is one of his better aerials, kind of. What you can do with this is jump, Nair, and it can almost kind of spike. You can hit the opponent off the cliff, and you can use this just randomly midair. It does have a little 1-2 punch, but it'll do very little damage. Now, the reason that this is one of the more useful ones is that you can actually combo this into an up smash, or into a forward tilt, or into a jab if you are above the ground. But if you're above the air, it really won't do way too much. So use this above the ground to get some of that high damaging combos, but don't use this above the air. His forward air is a little swing, which once again is pretty worthless, but you can actually use this little thing to gimp people that have terrible recoveries like Dr. Mario. If they do have a very bad recovery, you can jump off the cliff, go for the swing very close to the cliff, because if you get too far you will die, but you can jump off the cliff, swing close to it, and then kill the opponent. Now, a nice thing to do is to pick a map where there's a wall jump, because Little Mac actually does have a wall jump, so you can go off for the gimp, and if you miss, you can jump off the wall, and then go for your up B. So overall, it's a very viable strategy. But still, if the opponent has a decent or half-decent recovery, even somebody like Ganondorf, you really shouldn't be going for this, because they'll probably just hit you and you'll just be gimped yourself. The down air is a very weak spike, which you can sometimes combo 1 or 2 downers into each other, but once again, it's one of the worst aerials in the entire game, but it can get that nice little spike, which is pretty dang cool. A lot of the times though, instead of jumping off the cliff to go for the spike, you should just be waiting at the edge and go for the down smash. His up air I've been trying to find some use for, but really, just don't go for the up air. It doesn't have way too much use, and there's not much versatility that you can do with it. The back air is one that can also be used to gimp instead of your forward air. Now, it does have a little bit less lag than your forward air, and it hits them a tiny bit further, but the hitbox is a little bit more dreadful and very small, so it can be used to gimp, but forward air is a tiny bit better, even though they're both pretty bad. The neutral B has 2 versions. One is the KO punch, which will charge up after you take damage and deal damage, and then you can down tilt into KO punch or just KO punch. Now, one thing about the KO punch, you will want to be on the ground because it will kill the opponent extremely early, but if you're in the air, you can still use it. It'll just kill a lot less early. Now, the second version is the chargeable version, which is when you do not have the KO punch ready. This is really not that useful, and you should really not use it way too much because it takes way too long to charge and has way too much end lag. So overall, just wait for the KO punch in order to use this move. Jolt Haymaker is one of the better moves that he has. Now with Jolt Haymaker, you'll be able to fly pretty far, and then you can press B a second time whenever you want. It can be used as recovery, even though it was nerfed in a patch quite a while ago, so it's not the best recovery, but it's one of the only things that you do actually have. Now, the nice thing about this is that you can kind of go down tilt into Jolt Haymaker and actually kill the opponent, and the best part is that you can Jolt Haymaker off the cliff and kill the opponent. Definitely do that. Just kidding, don't. His up B can actually kill pretty early on a stage like Battlefield or a stage like Halberd, which is pretty good, but a big problem about his up B is that the opponent can easily air dodge it, and if they do, you will be stuck in a ton of lag, and you'll be falling, and there'll be pretty much nothing you can do. It is a almost decent recovery, but it's pretty much as bad as Dr. Mario, so really you won't want to do this much. You want to pick Little Mac on a stage with a wall, so somewhere like the Earthbound stage. So if you can do that, you can almost have a decent recovery, but of course Little Mac has one of the worst recoveries in the game, so you will want to stay on the middle of the stage all the game to not get exploited from your recovery. This is just a very simple counter. Now, you should not be using this off the stage all the time because it actually can lead you to killing yourself, which a lot of Little Macs do, but it is a very fast counter, and it can be used sometimes mid-jab, so if somebody like a Captain Falcon is jabbing you, sometimes, I don't know why, but only sometimes you can press counter, and it'll just go through the jab and hit him. It's one of the faster jabs, and one of the faster counters in the entire game, so you should be going for this decently amount, but only if you get a very good read. But if you do get a good read, like someone versus Wario trying to do a side smash, it'll kill really early, and it does have a decent percent gain ratio. Thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Sorry that this guide was a little bit shorter, but it's mainly because Little Mac's aerials kind of do suck, which is something that I do hate. I actually do really enjoy playing Little Mac, but I kind of get annoyed when he gets exploited from his really bad recovery, which I hope someday Nintendo will buff. Blessed Nintendo. But if you did enjoy, make sure to like, comment who you want for next week, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. And something to tell you is that all these videos this week are actually pre-recorded. I bet you did not know that. I've been gone a week, so if you did not know that, shame on you.